Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's Once Upon a Time, Season 3, Episode 7. This is coming literally a day after my Episode 6 reaction, so I'm feeling pretty good. We're going to watch more Once Upon a Time. And yeah, what happened last time? We had people bringing to the surface stuff that should no longer have been kept secret and stuff. Everybody had to, you know, be honest with their baggage and stuff like that. Mixed reactions, mixed response. And as I said, I think Hook came out the best because I think he made a genuine effect on Emma with his earnestness. So that was a plus. But very interestingly, aside from the whole Ariel retelling, which was pretty good in my opinion, Regina and Rumpel have teamed up. Now Regina has saved him from the delusions and tricks that Pan Shadow was trying to snare him in. They are going back to Storybrooke, at least temporarily, they hope, to fetch something that could turn the tide. I know that they theorize that maybe they could trap Pan, much like how, because Rumpelstiltskin can't be killed without access to his dagger, like this, you know, the residents of the Enchanted Forest had no choice but to trick and entrap him in order to keep him contained. So he's like, you can sort of understand that, right? You keep going on about how Pan can't be killed when, don't you remember how you were dealt with? Why can't we just find something similar to do to Pan? Let's just trap him. And so, yeah, I know he's a bit more, like, vindictive about it. He's like, huh, so we think of a fate worse than death. Like, oh, all right, if you want to take it that far, but let's just think about how this is even going to be possible first. So I do like that there is some sort of plan in motion now going on in the background, and he's not going to spend the entirety of this story arc sat moping. This is really good that Regina was the one who got fed up of the Scoobies in the other group. So she's like, I'm gonna go like hang out with my old mentor, the person who's managing to be cooler than the rest of you, even though he's wallowing at the moment. So I'm happier over here. Like, you know, like the bad coven. This is like the bad girl coven. I do like how they immediately tied the Ariel stuff back in. So like, guess what? I'm going to give you your voice back and your legs back. No drawbacks. Can you do us a favor, please? Like, fair enough. Like, she literally gave her everything back. So I am trusting Ariel to uphold her end of things, especially because she does seem to be good in her heart. So I don't think there's going to be any betrayal there. What intrigues me is that we now... obviously, I skipped the recap at the beginning. I mean, I watch it to make sure I'm fully up to speed, but before the reaction portion starts, I always try and get the video to just as the moment the actual episode starts and not the recap. Or, you know, if it's recap then title sequence, I'll start at the title sequence, you know, that kind of thing. But the thing that greets me after the recap here is a screen that says 5 days ago. So instantly we're going to start with a flashback to 5 days ago. And I would like to believe that because it's been so long since we had an update or saw Storybrooke, this is going to be what's happening in Storybrooke. That's my assumption. Like, because we've been extensively following each of the characters involved in Neverland during their stay there. I don't think there's any real concealed thing that could have been going on 5 days ago, unless it's to do with the Lost Boys. So I genuinely think this must mean that we're going to start with a flashback to Storybrooke that's obviously going to tie in to whenever Regina and Rumpel arrive. That's what I'm guessing. So yeah, no further speculation than that, because as you know, I don't bother with titles, so I'll see you guys in the reaction. So yeah, that was a good episode. Obviously, I came out of the previous episode a lot more like, whoa, that was a good episode. But this was still good. As you saw, there were multiple things I appreciated about it. Like, I really liked how Belle used her own intuition to figure out what she was supposed to do, to figure out the clue. Then she had a whole "my confidence is broken," but then she was able to get that back by, you know, managing to reach the lads in the tunnel in time. And I absolutely love that we aren't just forgetting the Wendy crew from back in old times where Balefire ended up. I like that they now have a use found in the modern plot, and we're utilising Neverland's ageless factor for, you know, Wendy still being a part of things, and those boys being like part grown up, part not, and so like by the time they're involved in this, they've accumulated like an adult's worth of years in them. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. As I was saying during the reaction, I was all set by the end of this episode to start criticising them for just showing up to be robotic and villain-like with no real motivation for doing what they were doing. And that tunnel scene fixed every single complaint I had with their characters, almost like Once Upon a Time preemptively knew, based on how insufferable Greg and Tamara were with their whole, yeah, we're bigger than all of this, we're gonna cause all this hurt because fuck you, we're mindly brainwashed, blah 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 blah. I like how they seem to maybe have taken the criticism of them on board, and they instantly flipped it on its head with these two new characters. Like, oh no, actually, not only are these characters that we already knew, but they've been aged up, but they are also doing this for the sake of another. They are not just blindly brainwashed. They have been let into a higher thing of the plan, a higher base of knowledge, but it's not the circumstance that, you know, is ideal. I really like that. I do. And as I said, another thing I really liked is how, yes, Hook got embroiled in the whole scrapping over Emma, you know, getting all hooked up. But I do think that Balefire was the one giving the digs first, and so, you know, Hook with his machismo kind of fed into it. Like, I think he got baited into it. I do think it was Neil instigating. I'd have to go back. I don't know. And Hook did make a mistake by assuming that Neil had already been told about the kiss by Emma. Like, so, you know, I can't really fault him there. But what I'm saying is, something I really praised during the episode was the break in cliche with Hook's kind of, you know, ex sort of villainous character that did a face turn and, you know, like came to serve good and that kind of thing. You know, he's got his pirate ways and stuff like that, but I really appreciate how consistent they've made his character when it comes to honor and, as he puts it, good form. My goodness, the good form that he showed in being upfront with Emma about everything in that one conversation. I have nothing but respect for the respect in which they're treating Hook's character, and they're not just making him more sleazy than he needs to be. You know what I mean? He's actually coming across as an earnest suitor, and that is actually great, because it's a point to how far he's come from the man he used to be. And that was a common theme in this episode, because it ties back to Rumpelstiltskin and Regina. Like, we saw Regina constantly getting surprised, like, even after all this time of knowing that Rumpel was in a relationship they really cared about. She is constantly being surprised at the genuine love and warmth and goodness that comes out of him whenever Belle is involved. Like, it genuinely shocks her every time. And I like how Rumpel was like, are you jealous? Like, what, of Belle? Like, Regina always puts things into terms of competition, especially with other women and stuff like that. And I like how Rumpel is no, I just mean having someone. Like, you're a lonely, crusty bitch. Like, you're only getting angry. Like, I just really, really, really love that this is being addressed and expanded upon. Like, you saw those looks Regina was giving. Like, oh my goodness. Like, she was ready to brush off Ariel's request to also help with Wendy. But you know, Rumpel's just delighted that he was able to exchange a message with Belle and get what he needs. So he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, and Regina's surprise at it is amazing. I really love how Rumpel cut her deep with the jealousy comment, because I can't wait to see where that goes. I mean, I'd like to see if Regina eventually gets to meet Robin Hood, because obviously in that one episode, Heidi's good with the names, not me. That one episode we actually got to see that a potential soulmate for her was Robin Hood, and she chickened out of actually opening that door. So it leads me to believe that what if one day Regina will find happiness and it'll be with him? It's just a matter of when. So it'd be interesting to see if that's where this is heading eventually. Like, she does want someone, but it's like, who's going to take her at this point? Well, the only option I see on the list right now is the guy that was literally pointed out to her by magic. So we'll have to see. But yeah, love that certain characters got to address things with each other in this. I like how Emma and Neil established, look, this is all stupid. We're going to nip this in the bud. Like, we literally just have to focus on Henry and we can worry about the relationship drama afterward. That was fine. I loved that we got the tie-in with Regina telling Emma she needed to tap into her anger. To, you know, find your anger, and that's what enabled her to cast that combustion magic during when things were getting hectic, because she was angry that the situation had been caused by the other two arguing. I really appreciate that so much. And yeah, okay, I get that David didn't want to cause any worry and stuff like that, but at the same time, it would have been a lot worse to spring it on her as the journey's ending, especially when it comes to the time to say goodbye. Like, giving someone the time to process it is going to be a lot better than just springing it on them last minute. That's going to cause much more heartache and much more stress for everyone else. The more I talk this out, the more I realise why Mary Margaret was as pissed as she was. But on the other hand, I did get annoyed about how she has always been big on, like, communication and talking about things. And yes, David betrayed that. But what I'm getting at is that she, in her anger towards that, was betraying it herself. And I get that there are allowances to be made when it comes to strong emotions. But like, in the moment, it's like, oh, come on, please just talk about it. Like, you can't just keep ignoring it and making yourself feel worse. Like, come on, just communicate. So it's like I was feeling the annoyance and tension of them not resolving it, when I think that was the whole point. It was like everybody had the reasons to be thinking the way that they were, and it was conveyed very well to the audience, because it was like we could feel the stress of their situation. I think me having such emotional reaction to that, like, oh, come on, was intentional by the creators, because it shows that they are succeeding in getting across the frustration that David is feeling. You see what I mean? Like, I think that just shows that the storytelling in that moment was effective at what it was trying to do, because it's supposed to lead up to that cathartic moment where they finally let out what they're thinking, and then, okay, we can start to mend and be civil again. Like, yes, okay, healthy relationships, yes, but you know, it was like the teething step of getting there that was just getting on me just a little bit. But it's fine. It's fine. It made for good TV. you know, technically, because this came out for TVs, of course. It was good TV. Really enjoying, as I say, Henry trying to take his own initiative all the time, not just blindly believing everything that's said to him, but he will start to believe certain things if there's credible evidence in front of him, like Wendy's performance. But on the other hand, I am willing to give Henry some credit and assume maybe like 30% of me wants to believe that Henry, anytime he seems to be going along with what Pan tells him, I'd like to believe that he is just entertaining Pan, but in reality, he doesn't believe a word of it, and he's just patiently waiting for his family. I would like to believe that, even if I think at this point there's maybe a 30% chance, because of how much we've been focusing on Henry being fed all this false information. But I genuinely would like to believe with all of my heart that Henry is going to have a badass moment where Pan's like, Henry is completely under my control and blah, blah, blah. And he believes everything that I tell him and la, la, la. Obviously, this is out of Henry's earshot. But separately, Henry just casually, what, that guy? It's been full of shit this whole time. Like, I want him to just reveal that he never took him seriously in the first place. Wouldn't that be the most hilarious thing ever? It would be epic. It would be amazing. I would love to see the shock on Pan's face once he realizes that Henry was never anywhere close to being under his control. And I understand that that's probably not likely. I think there's every good chance that Henry is going to be corrupted in some way or influenced in some way. But my hope holds out that he is just going to pull the rug from under everything and be like, bitch, I never believed you. I want it. It may not happen, but I want it. So, yeah, that's where I stand on that. Yeah. Yeah, this episode introduced a lot of ideas that I'm really on board with. I think this is a really good episode. Yeah, left with nothing but good feelings. Really looking forward to the next episode, and I shall see you guys next time.